It's the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Welcome to another production here from the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Of course, it is our mission to try to bring you some news you could use. Today will be no exception to the rule. Don't forget, you can follow me on X at the Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Subscribe today, hit that bell notification, and that way you'll always be in touch with things that are released here from the network. We got a lot in store for you today on this weekend edition of The Zone. We are going to hear from Coach Tamika Newman with the SWAC Volleyball Roundup, and we'll break down the game that shall be from Dallas, Texas later on this evening as Prairie View goes on the road to take on the SMU Mustangs. And you'll be able to hear that game right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. But we're going to take us a quick break, and we'll come back with today's episode of The Zone.
The first annual Team Domino Tournament Effect Double Elimination, benefiting Prairie View A&M Athletics, sponsored by the Panther Support Network, Panther Backers, Panther Club, PV Athletic Club, and cheerleaders. The time and date for this location is Saturday, September 23rd, 2023, and the time will be from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. The location will be at the Kappa House, and the address is 3349 Southmore Street, Houston, Texas. Lunch and snacks with soft drinks will be provided from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. BYOB for adult beverages. A full dinner will be served at 4:30 p.m. The registration fee is $125 per player, and the payment methods is Zelle. And the number for that Zelle is 713-417-2090. And the email is lindellrob@gmail.com. The spelling for that is LYNDAL rob@gmail.com. Checks can be sent to the Panther Backers. And the address for that is 3611 Heritage Colony, Missouri City, Texas. The zip code is 77004. Donations are accepted. All funds collected and donated are tax deductible. The person of contact for all info will be Greg Austin, and his home number is 832-653-5703. His personal cell number is 713-562-8181. His email is abazulu247@gmail.com. And the spelling for that is ABBAZULU247@gmail.com.
And welcome back to The Zone. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, thanking you guys for joining in with us on this week. Don't forget that we come to you each and every day with the Mike Prince Show, Monday through Friday. We have all sorts of interviews across the country. We have feedback from fan base and a whole lot more. You can catch with Coach Heish Northern for our football breakdowns, and of course the guru himself, Coach Van Pettaway, as we go in and out the world of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. We have some soccer results from Friday night. Prairie View falls victim to Abilene Christian by the score of 6-0. They'll next be in place on Sunday as they'll take on the Tarleton Texans. On the volleyball side of things, Prairie View go to Lafayette, Louisiana. They're participating in another tournament that way. They were victorious over Nicholls State 3-0. They'll be back in action on Sunday as they get ready to take on University of New Orleans from Lafayette, Louisiana. So things are looking good for PV Nation on the rebound from the volleyball side of things. And speaking of volleyball throughout the rest of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, we'll now transition over to our queen of the courts, and that is none other than Miss Tamika Newman.
Good morning and welcome to the Above the Neck SWAC Volleyball News. You are listening to Tamika Newman, volleyball analyst, two-time SWAC graduate, 2006 SWAC Volleyball Player of the Year. To make a long story short, I am SWAC. Thank you for joining me today. I am excited that Dr. Mike Prince has added Above the Net SWAC volleyball news to his already popular show, Talking All Things SWAC. So the intention of the show is to highlight elite performances by teams and individuals, interview current and former players, and then give coaches, specifically youth coaches, parents, and players, an inside look into a SWAC volleyball program. So let's jump right into today's show. We are in week 3 of college volleyball. Almost all of the SWAC schools are playing other non-HBCU Division I institutions. Some are playing some D2s, some are playing some NAIAs. Jackson, Valley, and Prairie View all have 3 wins apiece. Valley, two of their wins coming from Division II schools. But Jackson and Prairie View have knocked off some other Division I competition, which is certainly a confidence booster for the team and definitely helps with the recruiting. Let's look at some stats. Brooklyn Watts from FAMU is leading the conference with points scored, averaging about 4 points a set. Brooklyn led FAMU last year, had a breakout year, was a big part of their championship run, a very exciting, explosive player to watch with a complete volleyball game. I expect her to do the same this year. Some other notable stats are all led by FAMU as well. FAMU's kill average leads the conference. They average about 11.5 kills per set. That's a pretty explosive offensive system. In the assist category, they lead with 10.5 per set. And then their hitting percentage is that of .204. So FAMU kind of starting up like they finished last year, dominating the SWAC in some of those statistical categories. Well, we've come to the final tournament weekend for most. With conference coming up, most teams are going to play between that September 22nd date and the 24th. As a coach, I don't think I mentioned that in the beginning, but I've been a coach for 15 years. I want to pause and take a second to talk about what a coach and a team might be focused on in this last week of play before getting into conference play, where we know all this preseason stuff. This is all what we were working up to. This is what matters, what's coming up. So everything before this was to help every team get better and play their best for conference play. So I've compiled a list that I have been referencing for probably 10 years. And I call it a season focus. And it's a document listing things you should focus on or questions you should be able to answer based on where you are in the season. And I'll start with preseason. They're almost out of it. But these are questions you ask yourself before preseason starts, and hopefully you get them answered before you get into conference play. And the first is finding your team strengths. If your team's going to be fairly new, and we know we live in the transfer portal era, sometimes you're coming in with more than half of the team brand new to your systems, to the program. So find your strengths. Here's where we're going to be really good at this year. Evaluate your setter. Your setter's like your quarterback. I know that reference will make sense to some people who don't know a lot of volleyball. Are they a returner? Have they played in a system similar to yours? How much feedback are you going to have to give your setter, right? And based on what you decide, you're either giving her a lot of feedback or you're letting her run the show and make all those decisions. You want to be serve receiving 75% of the time in practice. That's receiving the ball over the net. Implementing small adjustments in tournaments. Tweaking things, placing people in different places. The tournament is the time to do it. How many mistakes do you allow players before being pulled? And so here's where you can kind of see who responds well to making mistakes, how they pull themselves out of it, who can self-correct and problem solve. So you want to pay close attention to who can I leave after a few mistakes and who needs to come out immediately. Find out who's comfortable being a leader. Create some adversity. Change the lineup up for different sets. Switch the setter. Switch some of your hitters. I put play as many away games as your schedule will allow. You want to prepare for those postseason runs, and generally that's not going to happen in your gym. So you want to put a lot of away games on your schedule. Look for an effective serving order. Look for an effective serving order, especially if you aren't going to have a high-powered offense that year. You want to have those servers strategically placed that you know you have some kids that can go back there and run off a couple of points or disrupt the other team's offense. And then introduce mental preparation before the game. So heading into conference play, I go in with this mindset. My athletes need to be good enough physically to be in the match. That means my skills training's been on point and my conditioning's been on point. But capable enough mentally to win, because my conditioning can be on point, our skills training and philosophy can be on point, but can the players execute and win now? Because the pressure is on, every game matters, and people are playing their best, especially in those rivalries. So one of the things I do before we get into conference play is conference with players about their expected contribution based on stats from the preseason. All right? This is the time to tell players, this is exactly what I need from you. The expectations you have from players does not need to be gray. It needs to be very black and white. Hey, I need you to carry our offense. We're expecting this from you every night. In conference play, you want to scout. You want to get some video on your opponent. You want to be prepared. Unlike in the preseason, you're going to show up and play tournaments, and you hope you play several different offenses you aren't necessarily prepared for, so you can make those in-game adjustments. You hope you are playing against several different defenses, and you make those in-game adjustments. So in the preseason, you hope you see some things you've never seen so you can get some feedback. When it comes to conference, you want to have seen everything that's out there and know what you're going to have to use to beat your opponent. Focus on getting better every game. I talked about the pressure is up because you want to win, because it matters. You need to get into postseason play based on your record. But I found over the years not emphasizing one team over another, instead focusing on getting better every game was way more effective than me saying, hey, guys, we've got this team Friday. We haven't beat them in a couple of years. They're beating up on everybody. We need to win this game. This is a must-win. I found that focusing on getting better every game helps the players to stay level-minded and to just focus on what they need to do to be their best versus we need to take this team down. By conference play, you got to have game day norms. Practice, you have to be practicing with goals in mind and being intentional. Taking scoring practice and implementing timeout situations is huge for me going into conference play. During conference, you want to pay attention to nagging injuries. There's some players that won't tell you something's been bothering them and you've been in the season a month, and by the time they choose to speak up, you're put in a really bad situation because they likely need to sit out, need to rest, and the rest and sitting out should have happened in the preseason. So you want to be paying attention to those things that are nagging players, because the timing is not going to be in your favor if those injuries become more impactful and you've got to sit a player that you really need. I also, about midway through conference, I implement another offensive package. I love doing that. Everybody's got a lot of film on you at that point, and so we try and change it up and see if we can throw something at the team that they're not prepared for or weren't able to practice for the week before playing us. And then I live by this last one: rest is better than a bad practice at this point. So that's a preseason and a conference focus I've been using for years. We'll get a chance to talk about what that postseason focus should be. But I hope this helps somebody. I hope this helps and it's impactful. Once again, I am excited about the guests we have coming up that are going to be on the show. We're going to go inside these SWAC programs. We're going to interview former players, former coaches. We're going to highlight and talk about exemplary careers that have happened in SWAC volleyball over the years that didn't get the attention that they deserved. I am wishing all of our SWAC volleyball schools luck and good health as they wrap up their final tournament and get ready to get into conference play. Conference play is going to be amazing. SWAC volleyball talent and coaching has improved so much. It's such a great quality product to watch, and I can't wait. I can't wait until we start playing some SWAC volleyball and get prepared to go represent the SWAC in the national tournament. Have a great weekend, and thank you for tuning in.
Welcome back to The Zone, the weekend edition on the Open Mic Broadcast Network, as we continue to look forward and break down the game that shall be from Dallas, Texas tonight, as the Panthers will put on their travel shoes to take on the SMU ACC-bound now SMU Mustangs. We were able to catch up with the head football coach for the Mustangs with their post-game practice interview and break some things down and hear what the focus of the Mustangs are at this particular point.
What I hope they take away from is they're pissed off we lost, and they are. I mean, like I said, we went there to win. We didn't get it done. We've got to learn from it.
To see some things click and a chance to maybe get some of those things going.
We definitely need to see things click regardless of who we're playing. So, Prairie View, they got a dynamic quarterback from right down the road. We can't let him get loose on us. Offensively, yeah, we just need to execute cleaner. It's not like we're sloppy. We're not, we had the one fumble, the last turnover, whatever. Like, we had the one fumble. We got to protect better. We got to run it better. We're not busting a lot. We just got to execute better if we want to, be a really good offense and score against good defenses.
How important has the experience of the guys that you guys brought in for the defensive line been so far, especially in this past?
I think it's been really good. I mean, one, we go into an environment like that, and that was probably one of the best things from our quarterback to everybody else. Like, they just acted like that's where they're supposed to be, and that's great.
Played Oklahoma last week, have TCU in a couple weeks. Is there any worry about the guys not being up for this, or is this a pretty veteran group that's not going to let the opponent dictate how they approach things?
We're going to find out. I'm not worried about it. I think Jake Bailey talked to the guys after practice about urgency and respecting everyone, and it's hard to win in college football. And look, we didn't win last week. We want to win. We want to play well, and those are really the priorities. And in order to win, we're going to have to play well. So.
And, of course, that was head football coach Red Lashley of the SMU Mustangs. Now, if you're listening to the message within the message, they were disappointed. They did fall short to Oklahoma by a score of 28-11. So they want to come out trying to establish the run on both sides, establishing the run from offense and stopping the run from defense. So on the flip side of things, the Panthers got a few guys banged up on the front line. So it'll be interesting to see the approach, because although we want to win every game, the most important game, I know they say, is the one that's next on the schedule. But in all reality, for Prairie View, the most important game is actually going to be on the 23rd when they take on the Alcorn State Braves on the reservation. So, yes, you want to be reputable and you want to have a strong performance, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be rotating guys, in particular on that offensive line from the Panthers, to see what hidden gems they may have, but more importantly, to stay healthy, to get kicked back off into conference play. As we mentioned, the 23rd will be on the reservation's home turf in Lorman, Mississippi. Then, of course, they'll make the trip back to Dallas, Texas. So the Panthers getting ready for the Rumble, if you would. And don't forget, you can listen live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Simply go to the website, obnradio.com, click the Listen Live link. If you happen to be on the go, don't have access to internet, there's no problem. You can simply dial the phone number, 857-777-0000, and join the action today. The pregame show starts at 5:30. Andre Davis and Philip Prince will be giving you the play-by-play coverage. And, of course, we'll have the 1876 after-party post-game show at the conclusion of tonight's contest. We'd like to also encourage you guys to consider a season pass. And what is a season pass? Season pass is simply this. We're asking that those who can and would commit to $1 a game broadcast for Prairie View Athletics. That comes out to $11. Will you join in with us on today to get your season pass so we can continue to bring you these games at the comfort of your home or on the road or whatever you're doing, that you can't make it to the game, choose not to go for whatever reason. We want to bring that game to you right here through the Open Mic Broadcast Network. All you need to do is simply visit the website, obnradio.com, and you'll see season pass donation button on the website, obnradio.com. No strings attached, $11. That's all we're asking for you to help us continue to move that forward. Now, I'm going out on a limb. We have a lot of faithful listeners, some obviously, some are low-key, but I'm asking if 100 of you would help us with that $11 season pass to help us continue to bring you these games on the road and, of course, at home for Prairie View A&M University football action. I'm going to take one more quick break, and we'll come back, and we're going to give you a little exclusive peek. We had our reporter, Mr. Greg Johnson, do a man-on-the-street conversation about Prairie View A&M University Panthers' lack of home attendance. We had him go and just pick some kids on the campus to get their feedback, so you definitely don't want to miss that. We'll take this quick break and we'll be right back. You're listening to The Zone right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. The Prairie View Athletic Club has been serving and supporting student athletes since 1986. This group of volunteers believe in supporting and the motto that Prairie View produces productive people. For more information on how you can become part of this winning team, simply dial 936-857-5817. Every time you support the Prairie View Athletic Club, you are supporting Prairie View Athletics, and it is also tax deductible. So once again, for more information on how to become a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, simply dial 936-857-5817. Who you rooting for? PVU. Welcome back to the Open Mic Broadcast Network, home of the Mike Prince Show and home of Prairie View athletic coverage, as well as Waller County, Texas high school coverage, which would include the Waller Bulldogs, the Hempstead Bobcats, the Royal Falcons, and the Rose Hill Christian Eagles. You can join us each and every week for our Waller County High School Game of the Week as we bring you live and delayed broadcast coverage throughout Waller County, Texas. Well, as you know, I went on a rant this week. I was highly disappointed. Some would say in my feelings, but just really baffled on why the students were not participating in home games for football. Prairie View had their home opener against Abilene Christian, and they did take a big loss, 45-16, but it was also a big loss in the fans. And we are going to give you now some feedback. We sent Greg Johnson, our correspondent broadcasting partner, on the campus of Prairie View and just did some random picks. And you're going to see and hear some very interesting feedback in this little segment that we'll have here featuring on why Panther fans are or not attending the games.
Welcome to the Open Mic broadcast. I'm here with
Destiny Tillman.
Haley.
All right, and today I'm gonna be asking y'all, did y'all go to the game last weekend?
We did.
Okay, and why do y'all think people attend the games, and why do y'all think people who don't come to the game, well, students who come to the game, why do they come, and the students who don't come, why do you think they don't come?
I can say why I think students who don't come to the game, their reasoning behind it, I would say most likely because of the heat. You know, it is pretty hot outside. It is in the hundreds. But for people that do come to the game, I guess they truly want to support. Like, that's my reasoning for going, to support the team and also to socialize. But for people that don't come, I don't know. Maybe they don't got school spirit enough.
Okay, and what's your reason?
So we went to the game. I think, honestly, I went to the game because we were a part of the halftime show. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I go to the big games. I'll go to the Cotton Bowl. I'll go to Homecoming and Labor Day Classic, and that's about it. I'm not that big of a sports fan, and the heat is definitely a major factor in that. Okay. I'll be at the tailgates, though. I just won't ever go inside the game.
All right, bet. And y'all freshmen, sophomores?
Seniors.
Okay, y'all seniors. Okay, bet. Appreciate y'all time. Thank you.
No problem.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.
So I'm here with
Guillermo Garcia Rodriguez.
All right, I'm here with Guillermo, and what I wanted to ask you today, did you know PV had a game last weekend?
Yes, I played in it.
Okay, you play on the team, so would you like to get some feedback on the attendance for the game? Why you think students don't come to the game, or why you think the attendance is kind of low, or what PV can do to bring the attendance up or anything?
That's honestly a good question. I mean, it's my first year here at PV, and I expected more people to show up to the game, first home game. But honestly, man, I don't even know. Well, what can we do to do better about it? But I actually don't even know.
Yeah, I understand. Appreciate your time, too. Sure. Appreciate it, bro. Have a good one. I'm here with
Amani.
All right, Amani, and I wanted to ask you, did you go to the game last weekend?
I did.
Okay, so people who go to the game, we kind of just trying to get y'all's perspective on why people don't come to the game. So you went to the game. Why did you go to the game?
I went to the game because it was going to be my first game, and yeah.
Okay. So why do you think students who don't go to the game don't go to the game?
I heard a lot of them was just like complaining about them being in the sun and just don't want to go just in case we lose, you know. Okay. So yeah.
Okay. All right, babe. Appreciate your time. Thank you, Armani. Yeah. And I'm here with
Amani Gibson.
All right, Amani, and I just wanted to ask you, did you go to the game last weekend?
I didn't go, no.
Okay, and if you don't mind me asking, why didn't you attend the game?
I had to study. I had a test coming up, so I couldn't come.
So attendance is kind of low for the game, and we just trying to figure out why students are going to the game. So other than you studying, why do you think other students don't go to the game?
I'm not sure. I feel like it was home, so a lot of students should have went. I thought it was a lot of people didn't go.
Not really. The attendance was kind of
low. It was low. I really wouldn't know. Maybe were they not aware? They might not have been aware of it being a game.
Okay.
Possibly.
All right. Appreciate your outlook. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
You
Appreciate
too.
your time.
Nice
Thank
to meet
you.
you.
Nice to meet you too. And I'm here with Chris. All right, Chris, and I got a couple questions for you. I want to know, did you go to the game last weekend, the PV game?
I did go to the game.
Okay, you attended the game. How was the game? Was it a good game? Was it a bad game?
Well, it was obviously a bad game.
Yeah, we lost. Okay, it was a bad game because we lost. And what's your opinion on the attendance? Like, why people don't come or do come? And why did you go to the game?
I went to the game because I'm a freshman, so I ain't seen the college football game. Well, I seen the college football game, but not as a student.
Right. So
I'm going to the game thinking I went to the game. Nobody was hyped for real. Like, nobody was cheering nobody on. But it was losing bad in the mud though.
But I bet. So why you think people wasn't coming to the game? What's the reason you think people don't come to the game? Well, students most specifically.
Really, cause they trying to play no football game, watch no football game. They finna go do some other shit.
Really?
Like tee up or something.
Okay.
It's Saturday night. Everybody finna go tee up.
Yeah, bet for sure.
If it was we was Bama or something, they go to the game anytime, but it's PV though.
So you think it's because it's PV, like it's just a low-key school, don't nobody really want to pop out for the college games because it's a lower type school, like it's a HBCU.
But I will say the band fire though, that's probably everybody to go because of the band.
Okay, so you think people go for the band, but the people who don't go, they just don't go because
They don't go because how they playing right now, or just they don't care.
Okay.
Well, you heard it for yourself from the very base that we're trying to reach as far as getting more involved. Various reasons. Some appear to be a bit selfish. Some appear to be just oblivious to what's going on. But that's something in the culture that we're going to have to deal with and try to fine-tune as soon as possible. I am not going to say anything else, at least for this week. I'm going to let those words from the student body somewhat resonate for you and I to figure out a way how we can overcome what I'm calling a slight crisis. Well, that is going to bring us to an end for this weekend edition of The Zone. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, reminding you guys very much that you can be a part of the action here each and every day with the Mike Prince Show, Monday through Friday. Of course, The Zone on Saturdays. We have game coverage. We give you even some spiritual uplift on Sunday mornings with the Temple of Refuge Ministries that you can join in at 10 a.m. Central Time by dialing 857-777-0000 or by going to the website at obnradio.com, clicking on the Listen Live link, and enjoy the sermons. I've got to go. My time is far spent. Don't forget, Panthers in action tonight, 6 p.m. Central Time, right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.